We're on a studio lot.
Yeah. All right, my name's Justin Bell, and this is Walking. At the time, I had actually been reading kind of a number of books. I remember I was reading The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. I was also reading The Alchemist, and I think those type of books really, they spoke to me in a way that it made me want to write something different than I had written before, that a lot of people had written, because I know a lot of filmmakers out of Atlanta, they typically write stuff that's just for entertainment, and I wanted to write something that was different and unique. I wanted to write something that spoke to people on a different level, a level of humanity, a level that spoke to people about who they were as human beings, and something that spoke to me, because I remember as I was writing it, it took about 6 months to write this thing, and throughout the process of it, I kind of got like these phrases and these sentences that just came to me over time, just out of thin air, really. And that's kind of how I know, like, I was almost destined to write this thing, if that sounds weird. And as I kept reading on, or as I kept writing, I would kind of look at these words that I was writing, and it didn't really seem like my writing. And that was the weird part about it. I didn't really feel like these words were coming from me. And even still this day, when I read this script, it doesn't sound like my words, and so it's kind of surreal in a weird way, but it's really cool.
After reading Walking for the first time, I thought the story would be accessible to a huge, broad audience, because everyone at some point in their life, they get to a point, a tragic point, they might not know how to handle it, a loss in the family, anything, and seeing this film and how Thomas handles that loss and making big, dumb decisions sometimes, it really embodies what life is all about. So it has many deeply rooted messages, and that came across loud and clear the first time I read Walking.
Well, Walking is all about Thomas's journey into manhood. He just lost his mother, and she left him a letter and a CD of music that she loves. And so he's taking a journey on the Appalachian Trail like she did, and listening to the music, reading her words, and it creates a transformation in his life. As soon as I read the script, I knew it was going to be a special film. I could just picture how stunningly beautiful the visuals were going to be. And I felt that it would touch people, because we all experience those things that Thomas goes through. Losing someone we love, searching for answers, grappling with reconciling previous relationships, and that bittersweet journey of going from a child to an adult. So I just felt that it would strike a chord with people.
There was a lot of description for every scene, and there were no lines. Like, there were three actual speaking lines for me. So I took that as a challenge. Like, I came from UGA in the last semester. I did this acting class, and I just learned about speaking roles and all that stuff. So I asked my professor, how do I even go about this kind of role with no lines and just body movement and everything? And she told me, like, look up a lot of Charlie Chaplin, I think, and yeah, here we are.
When I had met Nick, I had actually sent him an email, because he was auditioning for a previous film that I did, and that's kind of how we linked up. But I said, hey, it was 2 weeks before filming, and I'm like, hey, I'm about to switch actors. Do you want to be a part of this film? And he said, yeah, let's go. And I knew from that point forward that it would be like, it would be a good movie, because he showed up to the audition and to the read with this book full of notes, highlighted everything, and that impressed me enough. And I think, as a director looking towards an actor, it's important to know that they care about the project.
You're really getting into the mode, aren't you?
Trying my best.
After a while, we had kind of arranged a time to meet up, and he did his little screen test or audition, and I was just like, this kid is Thomas. And so I think that's what really helped also, was that he was Thomas and he didn't have to act. He really just was the character already, and I knew that was an important aspect of the film, that I wanted someone who already was him and not just acting like him.
I see Thomas as being like the 16-year-old version of myself, and I went through similar experiences that he handles in the film, so I thought just that alone, I really didn't feel like I'd have to be too much more than what my 16-year-old self was at the time. It came across very naturally to me, especially the first time I read the script, so I just connected with Thomas instantly when I saw what happened to him, how he reacts to it, and I was like, yeah, A, B, C, and D, I did all of those. So it's exactly, yeah, I connected with him immensely. The kind of director that I like working with is someone who is just happy a lot. He's not, like I believe Justin said at one point, not a drill sergeant. He definitely isn't. He's very personal. He takes the actor aside before every shot and just wants to run through the steps one more time, always checking in to see, like, are you all right? Are you doing all right? And even the cameraman, he was also like, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? How'd that last scene feel like? And then he always tells me after I would perform a scene, he would say, like, that was really good, or maybe I want a little bit more out of you in this regard. So that's what I look for in a director. It's pretty simple. It's just a lot of directors have their own way of handling, sometimes a lot of time, a stressful set. So Justin, like, embodied the perfect director in this regard. At times it would be stressful for timing, or sometimes we had too much time, but he handled everything really well, and a joy to work with, honestly.
I had worked with Valerie on a previous movie I did called Saving Sarah, and her performance just blew me out of the water. I didn't even really have to direct her. She's kind of just spot on all the time, and I knew I wanted her for this movie as the mother. And we had done a table read, or a read through, and she just killed it, and I got chills when she was reading it, and it was just really powerful. The thing I love about Valerie is that she can just turn it on in a second, and she's very much a director's actor in the sense that she doesn't really, she knows what she wants, but she also is open to collaboration and criticism, and she listens, and when there is criticism, she turns it around to completely something that you didn't even imagine was possible, and that's what I love about Valerie.
I play the character of Mary, and it was easy for me to relate to her because I have 2 sons of my own, and 75 people in my life have either battled or lost their lives to cancer. So it wasn't a stretch for me to imagine what it was like to be a mother who was dying of cancer and desperately wanted to bare her soul to her son and leave him with her words of wisdom and her love. I feel so fortunate because this is the 3rd film I've done with Justin, Dave, and their crew, and every single project I've done with them has been a pleasure and such a wonderful experience. They're just great people. They're easy to work with. You know, Justin is laid back and has a great sense of humor, so we laugh and joke, and he makes it easy. You know, he's so buttoned up technically, and he's so well organized. He's thought out every single moment. He knows exactly what he's looking for. It doesn't take a million takes to get there. So it's a wonderful process. He even sent me production stills while they were shooting so that I could visualize what was going on in the film while I was doing the voiceover. We talked through each piece as we were recording. And, you know, you're sitting in this tiny little room with just a microphone. You don't have other actors. You don't have anyone to play off of. You don't have the scenery. You can't even feel what it's like to be in the setting. So you're really depending on your imagination to just conjure up everything for you, and he really, really helped that process for me.
Yeah, this isn't my camera, this is David's camera, so
Well,
I'm broke, I don't have any money.
We're here shooting walking in some exotic locations all over northern Georgia. This is the most fun that I've ever had in a very long time.
The thing that generally appealed to me about this movie being all in nature, not really on a film set per se, was that it forced you to make a lot of quick and tough decisions, not just as a filmmaker, but also on the movie as well. I think there's something so pure and visceral and just untouched about nature that you can't get in any other place in the world. As far as the locations, we had scouted pretty much all over Georgia, and we found a couple locations that were good, but there were either too many people or too expensive. But you know, we found the place, and or we found about 5 places, and we're like, okay, let's shoot here. And they really turned out nice because there was no one on the trail, and it was good. And I asked a lot of this crew. Everyone dedicated so much of their time, and I know a lot of people had stuff going on, but they were like, no, let's shoot this thing, I'm on your team. And that really inspired me to just keep going. I really wouldn't have been able to accomplish what we accomplished on this film without my cast and crew. So I'm really grateful for them.
So what definitely stuck with me from working with Justin and the rest of the crew in Walking was when we were filming the outside scene. It was inside the tent, but it was outside. And we had to stuff like 4 or 5 people inside this tiny 2-person tent to get the scenes that we were looking for, to get the shots that we wanted. And this was at night, and it was just cramped, and it was fun. It was funny, and we were all cracking jokes and everything. But it was interesting, to say the least, to have like 5 grown men or whatever just all inside this tent. One guy, Justin, he's directing, making sure all the shots look good and how he pictured it. I'm there like laying on my side. This was at night. It's like a nighttime scene, and then so I'm on one side of the tent, and then it's Justin and David, the cameraman, and he's got his big camera and everything. And then we also had Kevin. We had Kevin, he was working the lights, and so we had like cords coming in, and it was nuts. It was crazy. I can't even. I have a hard time remembering exactly because it was just like, whoa, a lot going on at once, and just really tight, cramped space. But it was fun. I can't forget that, definitely. I also won't forget the time when we finally got up to the summit, and that was a heck of a hike. That was the hardest day for sure. It was emotionally taxing, being like jumping from hiking into the mindset of Thomas, because we'd be hiking up a hill for a little while, then Justin would be like, okay, this is where we're gonna film this. You ready, Nick? Let's go. And it's great. Like, he did a great job, and I fully expected it, but it was definitely a fast-paced, tiring day, and it was a lot of fun. I won't forget it. It's honestly, that's what we all live for, is that kind of experience.
In my opinion, there's a line in the sand between entertainment and art. I feel like with entertainment, it's there's a lot of filmmakers out there who are just making a movie to make a movie, and for me, I feel like I want to make art. I want to make something that gives a new voice to something that people didn't even know was there, something that really challenges the mind and the heart, and something that challenges expectation. And I think that's at its essence what art really is, because I feel if you're a filmmaker and you're in it to just make entertainment, then that's okay, but I feel like a real filmmaker is in it to make art and make something that challenges people.
It's tough. From my past experience, you need people. You need people in your life. And in this film, Thomas doesn't have anyone to lean back on. His father is a deadbeat. He's not even in the picture. And when you're just by yourself, you make crazy decisions. And you'll see that in this film. Thomas, I mean, he packs up. So, heck, I mean, it could happen to anybody, and you might just decide, you know what, I'm ready to head out. I'm gonna try something new. I don't even know what's gonna happen. I don't even know if I'm gonna make it at the end of it. That's the kind of message that you get after seeing this film. And the script was amazing. it was more than just reading it. It was kind of like I definitely saw it unfold as I was reading and just comparing it to my own experience. But it's not just my experience, it's everyone's experience. So many people have this thing happen to them.
I know a lot of people are going to take away a lot from this film. When they watch it, I want them to think about their own life and the path they're on right now and where they've come from, where they're going, but also, where they're at. Because I feel like with the title, it kind of speaks a lot to people's lives. And, it's not really a race. We're all walking. But yeah, I mean, I think this film is important for people to see it and be able to take something away from it that I think a lot of people can relate to.